Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Wild Yoga Tribe podcast. I'm your host, Lily Allen Duenas. Together, we'll talk about the world of yoga and we'll talk to people from around the world. I wanted to also let you all know that I will be teaching yoga online this year. Classes will be live streamed on a platform called Moxie, and I have $25 off coupons to send you, valid in January. And I would love if you could join me for a class to help you feel centered, refreshed, and filled with ease. Ready to dive into the show? Let's get started. Namaste, family. Welcome back to the Wild Yoga Tribe. I am so excited today to welcome Samuel Muthama onto the show. He's a yoga teacher from Nairobi, Kenya. He was first introduced to yoga in 2017, and he got his certification through the Africa Yoga Project. He had a background in boxing and fitness, and he really at first thought that yoga was just going to be easy and relaxing, but was so surprised about how physically demanding and challenging it was, as well as that beautiful sense of peace and harmony he found in yoga. Samuel regularly practices and teaches yoga so that he can help others find internal peace and unity between their body, mind, and soul. He teaches power yoga, cardio yoga, gentle yoga, and he also teaches yoga online. So thank you so much, Samuel, for being on the show today.
Thank you so much, Lily. I'm so proud. I'm so grateful to be here to share my story and my journey as a yoga teacher.
Thank you. So how did you first find yoga? How did it first come into your life, Samuel?
So, born and raised from a slum called Mathare in Nairobi. And there we used to, after school, I started hustling, doing casual work with my brother. And it was during this time of hustling, we were selling water, so we could load a cart with a jerrycan, 20 jerrycan of water, and then go to our neighborhood, which is 3 kilometers away, take water from there and then bring to our neighbors and sell the water so that we can earn a living. So during this process of selling water, we happened to sell water to a yoga teacher. I was not aware of what yoga was, but I loved the pictures she put on the wall, and I loved the lifestyle she lived. She seemed so peaceful and so welcoming, and I loved her lifestyle and her decoration for the house. And I asked the girl what were the photos about. She told me it was yoga, and she asked me if I would be interested to join yoga and be part of the community. I happily said yes. So we had a chat with a lady. Then she first introduced me into yoga in AYP, and we were going for classes there. And she assured me, because in AYP they take scholars every year. They take scholars for the academy, and she told me that when the scholars are being chosen, she will tell me and she will help me to apply for the scholarship. So she helped me apply, and I was lucky. I was chosen. So I was chosen first before my brother. And then before the teacher training, there was a vacance. They wanted another applicant. So as knowing charity begins at home, my brother was there. We were hustling hard with him. So I said, yeah, I have somebody. I introduced my brother, and we got lucky. We were chosen, both of us. And then we did our teacher training, 200 teacher training, 2017. And we enrolled to the academy. So we've been, since 2017, in the academy, Africa Yoga Project Academy, for 3 years. And then we graduated from the academy. So we've learned many things in the academy. And until now, yoga is my passion, yoga is my work. So that's how I knew yoga, and I loved it very much. I tried the first class and I loved it. So I said I'll go on with yoga. I chose the path of yoga.
Oh, I love that story. It seems like just serendipity or magic how yoga kind of came into your life through just selling water to a yoga teacher, and it all just kind of unraveling and unfolding after that. That's so amazing. Can you tell our listeners, Samuel, more about the Africa Yoga Project?
Africa Yoga Project is a non-profit organization which the mission is to elevate, educate, and empower youth from marginalized community through the practice of yoga. So Africa Project, what it simply does, it takes youths from humble backgrounds, and then it trains the youth to be yoga teacher, and then you can help yourself from teaching yoga. So your life is transformed through yoga. You get a job, they help you find clients, and then you be enrolled in the academy for 3 years. So in the academy, you get a mentor, a local mentor, and then another mentor that will help donate your monthly stipend to AYP. Then you get paid so that you can put a bread on your table. And in the 3 years, you're being taught how to find clients, how to do corporate yoga, how to do different styles of yoga, how to write your bio, how to write essays essential for yoga, and many other things. So they just nurture you as a teacher. So they are the best. Africa Yoga Project is the best. I love Africa Yoga Project.
I was so impressed and amazed and dazzled with everything that the Africa Yoga Project is doing. I loved seeing their social media accounts and to know that they have. It seems like they have yoga teachers from over 20 countries in Africa. Is that true?
Yeah. So we have over 200 yoga teachers taught to become yoga teachers in over 20 countries in Africa.
Amazing. And so, to get back to your story, Samuel, how has your life changed before yoga or after yoga came into your life?
So before yoga, I personal was a person of hot tempered. I was a person who will get angry easily and do things or respond to my anger without thinking. And after yoga, I now realize ways and I found ways to calm myself. Whenever I'm stressed, I meditate. Whenever I feel like angry, I take my anger to yoga. Like instead of taking my anger to other people or doing something bad, I take my anger and put it into yoga and transform it to being good and not angry. And before yoga, I was in bad company because, peer pressure is real. Having come from a poor background, I had to work so that I can eat, I can find money to cater for myself and also my parents. So because they don't have work, I was to toil, like we used to toil so hard. And easy ways they are crime. So people were like my peers were starting to lure me into crime. My path was going wrong. So before I entered into crime, because I had even started drugs to just calm my stress and like bring me out of this world. After finding yoga, I stopped slowly by slowly. I stopped doing drugs, and then I now found work by teaching yoga, so that I was able to cater for my daily needs and my family daily needs. So there was no need of going to crime. So yoga transformed me from the path of crime, of going to crime, into the path of holiness, the path of unity with the divine being. It really transformed my life and my family. So my brother and I, we teach yoga and help the money we get, we help our parents and our siblings. So I currently teach yoga classes. I have online global yoga classes, clients from the US. I have clients from like abroad. If you want to join my yoga class, I have a Zoom link that I teach online classes for everybody. So to help cater for myself and my family.
Thank you so much for sharing your story, Samuel, and for, telling us all that you've gone through. And I'm sure my listeners are very touched by your story. And I am very excited to join you for one of your yoga classes on Zoom. I feel grateful that we've all just kind of been able to come online together, and no matter where we're located, do yoga together. And I know also your classes you offer are at a great time of day for people in the US. It's, I think, 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. on Eastern time zone. Is that correct about?
Yeah, yeah.
Is that very late in the evening for you?
So for me, the classes change because of daylight saving. So your time remain the same, but my time for now it's 3 p.m. So it's in the afternoon for weekdays, Tuesday and Thursday. And then during Saturday, my time is 5 p.m. Eastern time, like East Africa time. But there it's like for Central time, it's 7 a.m. during the weekdays, and then in the weekend, Saturday, it's 9 a.m. EST.
Got it. Perfect. And I'll make sure to include a link in my show notes as well as on my website to your Zoom class or to your Instagram so that people can reach out and get that link from you maybe. I think they hopefully will be able to get you some more students in your classes.
So I'm really hoping so. Looking to find more clients because it's a global class so that I can be able to help myself and my family mostly during this hard time. So during this part of like life, this new life we've got, it's so hard to for like people from humble background to survive. So we toil hand to mouth. What we get is what we eat, and by doing the classes, if I find more students, I'll be so happy and I'll be able to help my family because now my mom, like for now, my mom is battling with nausea, epilepsy. So she can't work and she can't be alone. She needs somebody to look after her. And you have to pay somebody to look after when you go to look for money. And my dad is just a casual worker. So whatever he found, it just for the food, and sometimes he's not sure, like when he works, he's not sure of if he'll find money or he will not find money. So I use what I have to help them survive and help me survive too.
I think we'll all feel even, yeah, I'm very excited to join your class, Samuel, and to get to meet you because digitally, virtually get to meet you, and maybe one day in person as well, because you definitely have a beautiful story and so much light in you that I'm excited to see what kind of energy you bring to your yoga classes. Actually, how about I ask that to you? What kind of energy do you feel like you bring to your yoga classes, Samuel? Because I know you teach a few different types of yoga as well. Maybe we should talk about the types of yoga you teach and the energy you bring to your classes.
I mostly like combine the knowledge I have for yoga, for different types of yoga, to come up with a unique class. So uniqueness is my style, is my way of teaching. So every time I try to be different so that, sometimes normal is boring. So if I believe if your student gets to know your class from A to Z every time, he or she will be eventually bored. But I believe whenever like you're teaching classes or I'm teaching classes and I bring new style each time and I try to be different, it keeps my student coming because they don't know what to expect in my class. So they have to drop what they know and just listen and flow with me. So they really love my energy and they really love uh, way I teach and the way I am every time I am different. So they love that most.
Wonderful. And I saw that you teach something called Baptist Power Yoga as well as YOD yoga, your own determination. Can you tell us more about those two types of yoga?
So Baptist Power Yoga is the style I started with in Africa Yoga Project. We're most in Baptist Power Yoga. So the Baptist Power Yoga, the name is driven from the founder of the style of yoga, Baron Baptist. So he developed this style and it's more of vinyasa flow. So there is a sequence where you start, you warm up, then you go for some poses, twisting, balancing series, and then you go for core work, back bends, and then core works, and then hip openers. So it's designed to cater for your entire body. Like each sequence caters for different part of the body. So it's more of vinyasa, it's more power, it's more flowing. And now for yod, your own determination is a more intense workout. So it's like a simple way I can put it. It's yoga incorporated with a cardio workout. The exercises that they raise your heartbeat. So you start with warm up. Then after warming up, you get into the yod part. So you go intense workout, you sweat more in yod, and then after the yod part, you cool down. So in the yod, there is exercises, different exercises, intense exercise you have to do in different classes. So and then you go for cool down, you stretch after the intense workout. Then there is another type of yoga, yin. I also teach yin yoga. Yin yoga is more of holding poses and it's more of cooling down and stretching. So if you need to stretch a part of or like a part of your muscles, a part of your body, yin yoga is more restorative. So it's more devised for you because for a muscle to stretch, it needs to fully stretch, it needs about 2.5 minutes minimum to stretch. So in yin, you got to stay in a pose for 3 minutes to 5 minutes. So you can start with 3 minutes and then advance and stay longer and stretch your muscles out. So if you're very tense or your muscles are tensed, you're compressed, you need yin yoga for restoring your muscles and stretching out your muscles. So I also do that. So what I do in my class, having the yin part of my classes, my yoga, practice, and then the yang, so the power yoga, I combine all of them and come up with a class that stretches your body and at the same time strengthens your body. So I like to being unique to combining all the classes because with the tools, I play with the tools and come up with a unique class of my own.
Amazing. I love that you draw from different traditions, as well as even cardio and fitness, and you create these unique classes. that I think, as you said, every time you try to make different. That's really very cool, Samuel. And so, how do you feel after you teach a yoga class? What do you feel?
So after I teach my yoga classes, I feel it's like I've practiced myself. Like my teaching connects me more with my students and it makes me happy. Like I always look forward to teaching my classes because it's a therapy for me when I teach. It's like the same time I'm teaching my student, I'm teaching myself also. So by like um I like starting my class with meditation, a little meditation just to calm and settle my students. And during the meditation, it helps me connect more to my students and be more awake and alert. And then before I finish my class, we do a breathing technique. So it works in me the same way it works for my students. So I feel more connected and I feel more empowered by doing that class, by seeing how I transform lives of my students. It makes me feel more empowered and loved.
I feel the same way. I feel very connected to the students that I teach with, and I love seeing their change in energy and emotional energy from the beginning of class to the end, kind of seeing that journey towards more, you can see that big exhale of all of the burden, the tension, the stress. You can just feel it kind of slip away over the hour we spend together. It's beautiful to witness. So, Samuel, what is your personal definition of yoga? This is something I ask every guest. What do you define yoga as for yourself?
For me, yoga first is unity. Yoga is like an horizon that we share in common that unites us. Yoga is the meeting point of different people, different races, different background. So because I say this, because before I knew yoga, I had none of friends from abroad. I had I didn't have more friends. I was not enlightened on the world more as I am now and as I am continuing getting connected to yoga. So yoga is unity because even yoga, through yoga, the same horizon yoga is what has brought us together, Lily and me. So we are together because of yoga. So yoga is the same horizon we share. Yoga is unity. Like I define yoga as love and unity to bring us together, to bring, like, I'm wishing for a time where most people will come to realize about yoga, and that will be the beautiful or like the most beautiful time of the world because when we all share the same horizon, yoga, it will bring more unity to the world. We will become as a family, irrespective of race, irrespective of skin color, irrespective of language, like irrespective of background, we'll be together as one because of yoga. So for me, yoga is unity and love. When you show love and service, it's yoga.
Absolutely. Oh, Samuel, I am very touched by your words, and I love how you said it's because of yoga that Lily and Samuel are together today. It's so true. It is what brought us together, and it's what hopefully will bring listeners to the show and their interest in yoga and in yoga in Kenya and yoga with Samuel Muthama. So it is a beautiful connection, a connective piece that brings us together. So, could you tell our listeners, Samuel, more about what yoga in Kenya is like, and maybe the evolution of yoga in Kenya, if it's been very, very popular for only 2 years, 5 years, or if it has been, still not popular? I would love to hear more about what yoga in Kenya is like.
So in Kenya, yoga is not that popular, but because of Africa Yoga Project, yoga is becoming popular in Kenya. So before Africa Yoga Project, before meeting the teacher in by selling water to her, I didn't know about yoga. I knew yoga as a religion from Hinduism. I knew yoga was a religion. It was not a practice. And so many people, they know the same thing here in Kenya, especially people from humble background, people from the slums, the ghetto. The yoga is not popular there, but by Africa Yoga Project, taking youths from the ghetto, from the humble background, and teaching them yoga, we're spreading yoga each and every day. Because when you're in the academy, you teach free yoga to the poor community. So there is outreach classes every week that we used to teach to people. So before Corona came and the government banned all social gatherings, and now we are slowly resuming, and we are hoping life will get back to normal so that we can keep on spreading the word of yoga in all of Nairobi and Kenya. So we are hoping some years to come, yoga will be so popular in Kenya that I like words to describe the popularity of yoga. I imagine in some years to come. I'm hoping in years to come, yoga studios in Nairobi or in Kenya will be like restaurants in Kenya, like everywhere. So that's my hope in years to come. Yoga to be so a big thing in Kenya and popular.
Amazing. I hope so too. I loved hearing about the free community classes that Africa Yoga Project, recommends or requires you to teach, so that there's more outreach, there's more just awareness. And I think that's key, is kind of providing people different places and spaces to try yoga, whether that's at a park or at a school. I've taught yoga in schools before with children, and I love it. I think it's amazing to see kind of the personalities come out, or the curiosity, or there's a lot of things I think that children can bring to classes, or people who've never tried it too. There's a lot that can unfold for the first time a student takes a class. So, Samuel, too, what is, just in case our listeners really don't know much about Kenya at all, they're really not familiar with it, they just know it's a country in Africa. Could you tell our listeners just a little bit more about your country?
Kenya is my country. It's in East Africa, and Kenya is the best place to be. The climate is good, the weather is good, and tourist sites, they are like everywhere. So if you're looking for tourist attraction sites, Kenya is the first place you should land in. And the people here, most of the people here, they are welcoming. So when you're in Kenya, feel free to feel at home. And if you're in Kenya and you're wondering the first person to be friend with, just search Samuel Muindi in Facebook or Yoga with Muthama in IG or Instagram. I'm ready to befriend anyone because we share the same horizon of yoga. So Kenyan people, they are the best.
Thank you, Samuel, for that invitation, that generous invitation. And if someone is interested in practicing yoga with you, how can they make that happen? Is the best way to reach out on Instagram?
Yes, so the best way is to reach on Instagram, which is Yoga with Muthama, or reach Facebook, Samuel Muindi. So, but if you're in WhatsApp, +254 701 000 152. So if you WhatsApp, I'll give you more details, or if you reach out on Instagram, you'll get more details from me or Facebook. So that's the best way to reach out.
Wonderful. I'll make sure to put links to your Instagram and Facebook here in the show notes. So wherever listeners are listening, and if it's on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, anywhere, they'll be able to just easily click a link and find you. And it will also be on my website, wildyogatribe.com. So Samuel, it's been such a joy to be with you today. Is there anything else you'd like to tell our listeners?
So first, I'll say thank you to whoever is listening. And yeah, let's share and make yoga a vast thing. Let's be of service. Let's think of all the people around the world as our brothers and sisters. And my saying that I use, my mantra that I do use, your limitation is your imagination. Whenever you imagine you can do it or something is impossible, never say impossible, because the word itself says impossible. So nothing is impossible, and you'll never know of what you're capable of until you try. So like for yoga, most of the people, even I, used to say yoga is impossible for me because I'm not flexible. Yoga, it's for specific people. And now look at me. I practice yoga and I'm a yoga teacher. So that gave me or made me to understand nothing is impossible until you try it. So sky is the limit, people. So do whatever you need to do and always keep on trying until you make it.
Thank you, Samuel. It's been a joy to be with you.
Thank you so much. It's been a joy to be here. I love the talk, and we hope to see each other soon. Thank you so much, Lily.
Thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Wild Yoga Tribe podcast. My conversation with Samuel Muthama, a yoga teacher from Nairobi, Kenya, was so moving as Samuel took us on a journey, walking us through his journey of how he transformed a life of crime and of toil into a life centered on yoga with the kind generosity and assistance of the Africa Yoga Project. I hope that this conversation made you realize the gift that yoga can really be. And I hope you consider joining Samuel for a class on Zoom soon. Thank you for tuning in to the Wild Yoga Tribe podcast. Be well. Thank you for the gift of your attention today. If you feel called, please share this episode with someone who you think could benefit from it. Leaving a review would also be so appreciated. Also, I hope you can join me for a yoga class on Moxie and take advantage of that $25 off coupon here in January. I'm doing morning yoga classes 5 times a week, including Rise and Shine yoga classes and even classes for people who say they can't do yoga. Links are in the show notes or on my website, wildyogatribe.com. See you there. And as always, be well, dear one, be well.